Good morning.
Good morning.
Does it sound like I'm in a hole somewhere?
No, but I do hear a lot of background noise. Your voice is clear though.
Okay. Good morning, patience.
Good morning. I went to the doctor the other day, Janelle.
You did?
Yeah, and you know what? I forgot to tell you I have hypothyroidism, and I haven't been taking my medicine. So she
Well,
did. She checked my blood, and my thyroid level was high. She said that's why. She said because thyroids affect your hormones. That's why I've been having those feelings and stuff that we talked about
uh-huh.
because of my thyroid.
Oh, well, that's good stuff. So at least we know. Oh, at least we know we can fix. I was really talking to you. Sorry, patience. I'm glad that we figured out what's going on. So you better take your medicine, man.
Yep, will do.
Good stuff. Being proactive is not 90% of the battle. So at least you tried to figure out what was wrong instead of just continuing to deal with it and let life take its course.
Yep, I'm
A
out here
lot of
walking now. I
people
gotta
do that.
lose 20 pounds because I'm borderline diabetic.
Okay, good stuff. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Charlie, did you find some other networking events? I saw you were looking for some.
I think somebody said something about a networking event. Yeah, Patience put one in for Wednesday for tomorrow. I think.
Okay.
And then Charlie, don't you do you have an event going on this Friday? Is your event happening?
Yes, my event is Friday. It's in East Downtown. I'll put the information back in the group me again.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
put it in there because I didn't see it, Charlie.
Okay, I'll
Um,
do that right now.
and then put it in the chat, Charlie, if you can, and I'll let you right when we get ready to end to go ahead and announce it so that we can support you.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes,
We're getting better, Andre. You don't even have to raise your
I,
hand. We
I,
just
I
automatically
know,
add you on
because
up.
I was about to raise it for myself. I'll tell you that. Let me in.
What a great session you had yesterday, Andre.
Appreciate it.
I
Tell,
enjoyed it.
tell us about it, Andre.
It was
What we
about
talking about?
how to succeed as a new agent. And the great thing about it is I almost didn't have it because of the challenges I was having that morning. And I had a battle within to complete it. But I think because of that, that what it made everything so much better because I almost didn't do it. And what kept me committed was understanding what you and Rayvon are doing with commitment of training and being consistent with everything you guys are doing. I told myself, even if I don't feel like doing it, even if I'm going to challenges, we got to push through. And the crazy thing about it, as I was talking, I had caught a flat tire and I was on the side of the toll road on Clubhouse and no one knew. It was the most powerful Clubhouse yet because it dealt with the mental attitude of being a new agent and just succeeding in real estate. So it was very powerful. You know how you have a breakthrough mentally and emotionally, and you felt the connection of the people. That's it was very powerful.
Man, Andre, that's good. Our conversation is about client follow up, but I do kind of want to have that conversation because people really don't realize the mental shifts that you have to do to perform on a high power consistently, right? I have those same battles every week. It seems as if stuff is always happening right when it's time for me to get on here, and I want to be on here every morning, but the life happens between 7:30 and 8:15 every morning for me when it's time for me to get on this app. I wish I could show y'all a picture where I'm sitting right now because I'm trying to find something. So I had to take everything out of my attic, but then I was like, oh my God, it's time. So that's why I logged on late. But consistency and where you are is a lot of places that everybody else is. So it was more powerful because it's always better performed than perfected. I mean that every time I say it. We allow everything in our head to hinder our abilities. If you just show up, that's 90% of the battle, right? I was just telling patients like figuring out why we do what we do, where we are, and dealing with our hangups is the best thing to do instead of just waiting for an answer to show up in our face. So I'm not feeling good, I'm not performing well, I need to go to the doctor. This is happening to me. I needed this more than you needed it, so I'm gonna show up on Clubhouse. That's how we overcome small obstacles which turn into big successes. So I'm glad that
No,
that happened for you.
no, absolutely. It was an internal struggle I had to deal with myself because I began to speak to myself on, if I don't have it, no one is going to miss it. They will understand. You know, I'm at the beginning, so, and I began to speak to myself on giving me reasons on not to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
something told me, it said, Andre, you're not doing this for anyone else. You're doing it for you. Are
Mm-hmm.
you consistent for you? And I snap out of it. So,
And look what happened. The first thing you happens is patient said that was good. I enjoyed it, right? So we
yeah,
never know who we're helping. That's why we got to continue to show up. And it's even like that on the hierarchy of the brokerage side. If no, you guys don't really understand the pressure. Every time I teach a class, I don't know who's showing up. Every time we show up to the brokerage, I don't know if a new agent is going to be recruited. I just continue to show up no matter what. And it always seems to work itself out because if you show up to work, work shows up for you. So I'm a true believer in that. And if I help one person, then I did what I was supposed to do. But it's always an internal battle. When you show up to your listing appointments, it's an internal battle. Because most of y'all say in your head, especially when you first become an agent, oh, they're not going to list with me. It's someone better. They already talked to somebody that they was going to use anyway. But you never know. You never know. So always do the act. Scared, nervous, fatigued, perform the act. If I can show you anything else. So that was good stuff. Okay, so this morning we're going to talk about client follow up conversations. What I have discovered with real estate agents is that most of the time, the reason you don't follow up is because you don't know what to say and you've already made up in your mind that they don't want to do business with you. So, we're going to practice some conversations because we lose 90% of our business because we do not follow up. We practice for yeses instead of practicing for nos. We are not resourceful enough because we don't educate ourselves enough. So since we don't have the answers, we just don't ask the questions. And what's coming, the people who are winning are the people who are following up and finding the answers and becoming more equipped. So before we get into the actual scripting and role playing of follow up, let's talk about it. What's a good follow up schedule? So y'all tell me how you follow up and what procedures you take to make sure that you're capturing the client. What's a good schedule? What's a good amount of times to actually contact someone before you give up? Or do you ever give up? Let's talk about it.
Well, I keep contacting them till they tell me they're not interested. I call them like the way I have my stuff set up in KV Core. It reminds me to call them like once a week, and every week I call them. and then I set them up on a drip campaign.
Okay, patience. I like that. Okay, so let's talk patience. You say you use KB Core as your follow up accountability partner, right?
Right.
So tell us what that looks like.
Okay.
Tell us
So
how you operate on a weekly basis. What do you do first? Get up and then what?
okay, I get up, do Clubhouse, whatever. Then I go to the office and I start my day. I make my to-do list of whatever I'm supposed to do that day. And then I like get on KB Core and it'll tell me like how many calls I have to make. So I just start calling them. If they don't answer, I type in they didn't answer. I leave them a text message. And then I put them and me calling back next week. And go to the next one. And I do that to everybody. I'm calling back next week. But they all on drips. So they constantly getting drips in the meantime of me calling as well. Most of them will probably call me back if they miss my call. Like yesterday, I had one. She called me back and she was like, "Yeah, my lease is," because I remembered her lease was up. So I had put a note to call her back because her lease is up in August. So she needs to be trying to get pre approved right now so she can be in her house when her lease is up. So I called her. She didn't answer, left a message, sent a text message. She called back later that evening. Yeah, I still want to get a house when my lease is up. What do I need to do? So I put her in touch with a lender, with a couple of lenders. But yeah, that's what I do. I just follow up with them every week and type in whatever the disposition was and put them on contact for next week. And I keep doing that today. Just tell me, hey, I don't want a house. Quit calling me.
That's good. That is the perfect example. So how many deals right now do you have in escrow?
7.
How many of those were people who were called you and was ready right here and right now? Like they called you and say, "Hey, I want to buy a house."
1.
Absolutely. So the gap between your follow up and people actually calling you is 7. Now, what's the average price range of 7 of those deals?
Mm, the average, maybe 280.
280. So the commission on 280 is 87.50. So multiply 87.50 times 7 and you put 61,250 extra dollars in your pocket by setting up a follow-up schedule. So agents tell me,
Let's go.
let's go.
Hand
I
clap.
Let's
like
go.
putting it in
Hand clap.
numbers. You
Hand
you
clap.
everybody give her a round of applause
Round of
because
applause.
there are
Hand clap.
5% worth of agents doing what you do.
For
Congratulations.
real. She's man. You are doing it,
Thank
patience.
you.
Congrats.
Thank
So
you.
when people come to me and say, "Oh no, I don't need to lead generate because I have a referral business." Look what the percentage of referrals. Look up the percentage of people who are going to pick up the phone and actually call you versus you picking up the phone and calling them and having the mindset to say, "I'm not going to just call them. I am going to call them until they tell me leave me alone." Now, you can't do that in your own power, guys. You can't. You have to have some type of system in place. One of the main reasons I picked KB Core is because it did just that thing. It gives you a schedule every day. If you feed it, it will feed you. So if she fed it her database, she put it in the CRM. That's how she fed it. So every morning it tells her what to do. But how many of us right now got 7 deals in escrow? 8. That's the difference in using the tools that you have. Now, let's practice that conversation, patience. Let's script and role play because you saw my name pop up on your list of people to call today. By the way, patience, how many people does it tell you to call a day?
Well, I think it tells you to call like I want to say 50, but I don't honestly I don't call all the 50 a day.
Okay.
But I think it tell you to call like 50, but I don't call all 50 a day. I'm just being honest.
So we started this KB Core thing in January, right?
Right.
So now it's the first month in the second quarter, and you got 8 deals doing this because that's what you do. You use the system put in place. So when you call me, my name pop on the list. Let's script and role play. You call
Okay,
me.
well time
So
out before we script and role play. I always put notes in for people. So when I get ready to call, I have a note to let me know what I'm calling them about. You see what I'm
Very
saying?
good. Very good. That's what I want you to say, all of that, so they can
Oh, okay.
understand how to make it work. You got to have a item of value. You got to have a speaking point. Very good. So you ran your pipeline and you put a note for what's the next step. I call them. This is them. I talk to them about this because this is their situation. Very good.
Right,
So
right.
you can pick any situation and we gonna script and role play. You gonna call me. Okay.
Okay.
Ring ring.
Hey, how you doing, Janelle?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm blessed. I can't complain. God is good. I was calling because last time we spoke, I know that you had interest in getting a house, and I sent you through my lender, and he pulled your credit, and it showed that you had a few things that you needed to get done in order for you to qualify. I was just calling to check in and see had you done those things. Did you pay your credit card down to $50, and did you add a new line of credit?
Patience. I'm gonna be honest with you, girl. I ain't paid attention to that since he told me no. I went and signed a new lease to yesterday.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine if you did a new lease. So what I want you to do, are you serious about buying a house or what? Or you want to keep renting?
I mean, I am. I'm real serious. It's just
Okay.
that things just came up, and so my lease was up, and I had to move right now. So I'm just gonna go. I just went ahead and signed another lease.
Well, I understand. I totally get it. But the question is, do you want to buy a house? That's the question.
I do. I do want to buy a
Okay.
house.
So here's what I want you to do. If you're serious about buying a house, I want you to go ahead and handle those things. I want you to pay that credit card down to $50. What do you think you can do that?
In 2 weeks, I get paid in 2 weeks. So I can
Okay,
do
in two
that.
weeks you can bring the credit card down. And he also wanted you to apply for a new line of credit. He sent you the information so you can get you a secured card to bring your scores up. When can you apply for that?
I mean, I don't even know where that information is. I don't know if I still got that
I
email.
can resend it. He CC'd me on the email. I still have it. I can resend it to you. So once I resend it to you, when can you apply for the card?
I do it today. You send it to me today.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Okay. So you're gonna in 2 weeks you're going to pay your credit card down to $50, and then when I send you the information for the secure card, you're gonna fill that application out. It should take about 2 weeks for you to get that as well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna follow up with you in 2 weeks to make sure that you did it, and then we'll go from there. Now, let me ask you one more question. You said you just renewed your lease. Who is your apartments with? Because I do have a program where if you're trying to get a house through certain builders, they will buy you out of your lease. So let me find out if your apartments qualify for that. What's the name of your apartments?
Trailwood Estates.
Okay. So while you're working on getting the your credit together and paying down the credit card and getting the new security card, I'm gonna call the apartments and see if they will work out with that. Because last time we talked, you told me that you wanted to be over there in Northwood Manor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they have a really good subdivision over there. I think that you would really be good at. So let me try to get all this together. You focus on your credit, and I'll focus on trying to get you out of that lease. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I'm gonna call you back in 2 weeks.
Okay, I'll be looking forward to talking to
J-
you.
Okay. Have a good day.
J-
Listen, you
Janelle,
you got a bad coach.
J-
Somebody taught you
hey,
well, Patience. What's
J-
her name?
let me say something right quick,
Woo!
Janelle. So patience, the confidence that I hear and how you educate your client and the confidence sold me. The confidence and the education sold me. You killed it. You
Thank you.
Yes.
killed it.
You
Whew.
killed it. You killed it. You did exactly what we practiced, and that's all that matters. That's You killed it. You knew where they were. You had an item of value. You knew how to get them to the next step. You knew what their pain point was, so you took them to the next step. Your item of value was, I have some builders who do lease out programs. Tell me who your apartment complex is. Let me check into it. You also created another opportunity to follow up by giving them certain things to do and holding them accountable to those actions. You did 130% excellent. I love it. That's how we
Thank
do.
you.
That's
And
what
you
our
write the
job
note.
is to do.
Look, you write the note in KB Core because we human. We gonna forget, right? You write everything y'all
Absolutely.
talked about. So when it pop back up in 2 weeks before you call her, you gonna see the note. Oh yeah, this is what I'm calling her about. Because you might forget.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking the information and using it to better yourself, because it only works when we actually use the information. I can't commend you more. You did have confidence. And you know what brings confidence and follow up is those notes. because you already knew and you had a solution. So if you do not have a solution, that's why most of us don't follow up, because we don't know how to help the people.
And sorry, I'm sounding like this. I'm walking, y'all. I gotta lose weight. I'm pre-diabetic.
It's no, it's okay. It's okay. So you got a follow-up schedule. You have a system to hold you accountable. You also have notes that you put in, and you put the people on drip campaigns so they acknowledge you and see you whether you physically do anything or not, which allows you to have human moments and take a break because the system is working for you. So, what is the key to our follow up, guys?
Several things. Um, Knowledge of the situation, uh, knowing where you left off from, execution of the last conversation, confidence, and putting a sense of urgency on the other person, holding them accountable for, hey, you said you want this, not me. So let's do this together.
Very good. She asked several times. Now, you say you still want to buy a house, right? So she allowed the person to taste their words. So she asked open-ended questions. That's what I like. When you ask a person open-ended questions, you bring them into the process. That's the accountability part. Do you want to buy a house? Yes, I do. I do want to buy a house. When they say it, they taste it. We all do. When you mess up or you do something and someone says you did that, you don't have to taste it. You can either answer or not. But what did you do wrong that you feel that you could correct and do better the next time? That's a completely different statement because it actually adds ownership and accountability to it, and it allows a person to taste their words. Change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So good job. Now, who else
Also, what
has?
I took out of that was just the systems, having the
Yeah,
systems in place where you ain't gotta, even think about it.
very good. So I'm glad you brought that up, Charlie, because we are human and we fail, right? This app right here is a system that I use to communicate with y'all so that I can meet you where you are. Because if I said, and I have said, okay, every morning we're gonna get up and we're gonna be at the office at 8:30 and we're gonna script and role play, right? And y'all don't show up. So I have a system in place, which is Clubhouse, to meet you where you are so that I can have 25 people show up in the morning time. Why? Because Charlie's at the gym, Patience is walking, Andre's at work, but y'all still can show up. It's called systems. Just like most of you are going to get up and watch TV after you get off a Clubhouse, you still in the bed. Yet, if you had KV Core, it would tell you what you needed to do today. Call this person, call this person, call this person, call this person. Here's the analytics from the app, the ad that you ran through KV Core. Here is the response to the click ads that you ran, and you need to call these people and follow up these people and do this. It will run your business. So, systems is your number one friend. We got to implement some systems. You are not powerful enough to win alone. None of us are. We have to have some systems in place. So if you wake up and think you are the bomb and that you don't need nothing, you just need to perform, it will never happen for you. Sorry. You got to have some systems and accountability in place. So who else? Who else does something different or can contribute to the conversation that you are winning from your follow up and that or you need some help with follow up? Who can we help?
Did you ask that question again?
Yes. So who's doing something different and winning from their follow up so that we can have a conversation and practice it so others can learn, or who needs help winning from their follow up that we can have some conversations and learn? Who we all should be following up. So every one of us should have an answer to this question. There should be no one on here who doesn't have an answer because that's the foundation of our business is leads and follow up.
I just want to add something. I think one thing that I liked about what Patience did was she kept control of conversation. In order for her to be able to keep control of the kind of conversation means that she practiced. I can't talk this morning on her objectives and her scripting and role playing. So one thing that people don't do is get in the mirror and practice so that when someone presents a question to them, they could be able to answer it the way that patients did.
So patience. How do you Patience, how did you get skilled at that and practice it where it proficiently flowed out of your mouth and you had objection handlers?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm in the shower.
Oh Lord.
um, Probably constantly having to figure out, and probably maybe because when I'm in a session with you, I ask a million questions and I write everything down you say, and I go over my notes every day.
How often you go over your notes?
Every day.
And you also record me sometimes.
And
So
I
if you
record you exactly. And I really would say verbatim what you said, what you told me to say, verbatim, to the point to where I didn't memorize it now.
it doesn't take it has to take everyday looking at it has to take everyday practice in order for you to memorize it, internalize it, and then make it your own. Nobody would have known that I told her everything that she needed to say unless she told y'all, because she has owned it now. That's her speech. That's her script. And she's really good at saying, hold on, slow down, say that again. She'll either write it down or she'll hit her phone and, hey, let me record you. Say it one more time. Then she internalizes and make it her own. So unless she told you that, you wouldn't know that everything she said, I'd already told her to say. But do we have a script? How many of you guys have a follow-up script that you're using right now?
I do.
How many deals you got in escrow right now, Andre?
Honestly, it's so many as where I am bragging because I told myself I'm no longer gonna be captured or controlled by what other people think of me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am bragging. It's a lot. I have to ask Diamond because honestly, I don't keep up with it. I just keep going.
So how many of those are people who picked up the phone and called you, or is business that you had to go out and seek?
So it's half and half. So I believe we have like maybe 12 to 15, and it's half and half. So it's half of referrals, and then the other half is from the referrals that I have to build rapport with and kind of reaffirm why I'm the best choice to help list their home for sale.
So okay, so I'm glad you said listings, because a lot of people are missing out on the listing perspective. And so
Yes,
you're right where you're supposed to be. If yours is listings, then it's going to bring the referrals. And that's the reason why your
exactly.
business is 50-50. So being in the listing game is essential if you don't want to work as hard, because it will bring you 50% of whatever you output. So if you got 50 listings, you should be getting 25% referrals and buyer calls from your activities, right?
Yes, yes.
So tell me, how many times do you have to follow up? Because another problem is people give up too fast. So how many times are you following up?
Like I told you in my neighborhood, I followed up for 5 years. So that's a weekly reminder uh, for my community. It's a weekly reminder. Talking with the neighbors, letting them know who I am without letting them know who I am, and not selling them, just a reminder. And then the people's in my pipeline, I always send a text or a phone call, maybe every other day, just to see how they're doing, what their thoughts, to see if they have any questions.
Okay,
Now,
so that's
now,
real.
now,
I'm
I
glad
would
you
I
said
would say
that.
this: one of my challenges, and that I need to get better at. I'm all about transparency and being vulnerable. It's the whole KB core. I need to perfect that, and I'm working on doing that now with the team on implementing that and using that to grow the business.
So you said something really key, and I'm real big on listings, right? And I like to teach farming. But people have a false sense of commitment to farming. How many listings do you have in your neighborhood right now?
I will have five,
How many years did it take you to get five?
5 years.
Absolutely. So if you believe that you're going to do these forming activities that I taught you guys without follow up in a short amount of time and walk into a neighborhood and begin to gain listings, you won't. Now, if Andre had a few systems to help him with his farming, he would have conquered it in a year's time. But let me tell you something. It takes 12 to 18 months to conquer a neighborhood. It takes constant presence. It takes door knocking. It takes interaction. It takes systems and getting in front of them, direct mail. It takes sponsorships, events. It takes a lot, phone calls to get into a neighborhood. But 5 listings, what's the average price of their listing?
Oh yeah, this the part I like. 360 to four, all the way up to 600,000.
Okay, so we're gonna give you an average of 500,000, right? And so we know that 500,000 is $15,000. So if you multiply that times 4, because we know it's not really all of them are not 500,000. You put $60,000 future dollars in your pocket 5 years ago. Do you need that $60,000 right now?
Absolutely.
So the activities that I do today may not pay me today, but they are setting up a future and a legacy, because legacy is money, for my business on down the line. So follow up might not feed you today, but it will feed you in a lifetime.
And this is another thing that it's doing. It allowed me to have a footprint
Mm-hmm.
in the subdivision, right? So now I can put my picture up, my signs up, and market hard and stand out because I have to do extra to get noticed because someone else really has the domain right now. So I have to stand out and go hard. And now that I have the listing, I will.
Very good. Very good. I appreciate that. So we know one thing, that we have to be scripted. We have to practice. We have to have systems in place, and we have to have longevity. We have to be in the game for a while. It is not to the swift, but the one that endured to the end, right? You don't know how many people tapped into Andre's neighborhood, tapped into the listing game, and gave up too fast because they felt like it wasn't working. How many are you guys willing to? And I want to answer from you guys. How many of you guys are willing to put 5 years into anything? Because that's also the level of mastery. It takes 10,000, I have the number down. It takes over 10,000 hours to master anything, which is an equivalent of working 22 days a month for 5 years. How many of you guys have put that much time into anything? And how many of you are willing to put that much time? I want to hear some voices.
I am.
I am.
I'm willing.
I am.
It
Yeah, I have, and I'm
I
willing.
am.
we need a whole lot more I ams, guys. I'm telling you, this game is not to the swift. There's nobody in this game winning that started yesterday or last month or 30 days ago or 6 months ago. It's a compound effect of everyday activities along with systems and accountability that equals success in real estate. If you're not willing to do it, I want you to second guess this as your main career, because you got to be willing. You got to be willing for the long haul. You got to be willing to get up and pound the pavement and only see a sprinkle of the things that are to come. That's what real estate is all about. Now, who else has a different follow up schedule or need help with follow up? Or who wants to practice a follow up conversation? There's no need to be scared on this app.
Hey, Janelle, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
This is Shell.
Hey,
So, I have a potential customer. She's staying in her mom's house and her own house. and we talked about it like at a family gathering, and she was interested in selling one or the other, right? So when I called her, she was like, "Well, I'm gonna take some time to think, blase, blase." A month later, I followed up with her, and she was like, "It must be God, because I was just saying that I wanted to call you to talk to you about selling her house." I said, "Cool." Called her. We scheduled an appointment at 5:15. I called her. We talked. She said, "I'm gonna pray on it for about a week." I called her a week later, exact same time, no answer. I called her, texted her 2 days later, no answer. So do I keep being a nuisance or do I just move on?
Yes, you continue. That's a very good scenario because a lot of us are there. We are at the point where we're trying to figure out, is this too much? Have they found someone else, or why they're not moving the needle? Did I do too much? Do I need to do some more? Right? So, in actuality, you're still in a good place. There's something that she's going through to make a determinant if she's going to sell right now. What we don't understand is that buyers are liars and sellers are too. So it could be something that's completely out of your control is the reason why she's not moving the needle. So I would, in my professional opinion, would load her up in my CRM with information on the neighborhood, how much money she can make, things that sellers go through that keep them from selling, questions that sellers may have that to make sure that they're right, because she could be thinking, I don't have anywhere else to go, or I won't be able to afford another house. What am I going to do with this money? It may be some factors of ownership, something that she has a lien on her property. So overloading her with information will help her understand that you are her partner in this, and you're going to help her, and she can be transparent with you. So I would find some information on sellers. I would find all of the knowledge I can find on that neighborhood and things that are going on. And I would secure her mind in what my future steps would be, because people are hearing all kind of stuff. And I want to be the person that sets you straight. And then my conversation, when I leave her a message the next time, it would not be to say, hey, I was calling you because I remember you wanted to sell your house. My conversation would be, hey, I was just touching base with you. I'm pretty sure you have some questions, and it may be something that you're going through. And I just want to be a resource of information for you. Call me, text me, let me know. You don't have to sell your house right now, but I do want you to be abreast of as much information as you can to make the best decision you can. Call me later.
Okay, perfect. Now, when you say get the information for the neighborhood, do I get it for both neighborhoods? Because she have her home and then her mom's home. So she's living between two houses, but she feel at home at her parents' house. Both of them passed away about a year and a half ago. So
Okay,
she
she has
spends
a
more
pain
time
point.
at the mom house than her
Yeah, so
own home.
she has a pain point that you need to address, and I will find information on both neighborhoods. Now,
Okay.
if she says I feel at home at my mom's house,
Uh-huh.
we need to figure out what's disconnecting her from the other house. Is that her coping mechanism to deal with their deaths, right? Because a death of two parents, a year is not enough healing time, right?
Right.
So
Right.
if I, and a lot of people attach themselves to things when they feel scared. So if she's in an
Okay.
unfamiliar place in life, in business, and everything, she's gonna hold on to everything that she has. You may not be able to convert her in this season, but you stay
Okay.
abreast and you stay a resource for her so that when she does make that decision, she knows that she can pick up the phone and call you. So
Okay.
make sure she's aware that you are here for her when she's ready, not making her
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
ready. Good stuff. Anyone else? Who else can we help? Y'all guys are way too quiet. So tell me how your business is going. How many of you guys have people business to follow up on? Let's
I
talk about
I
that.
I
hello.
do.
Oh, go ahead, Leslie.
Um Good morning, everyone. I have clients coming in this morning from out of state, and I contacted them. They've been in contact with me, and then they went and they're relocating, and they made like 10 appointments at apartments. And I'm like, you already contacted them and spoke with the property manager and what have you. I thought, I told you that I would take you out and show you this. So anyway, I'm still going to meet with them today. They're doing spring today and Midtown tomorrow, but originally they said they were leaving in the morning and now they're staying all day tomorrow to look at Midtown. So I'm just like confused about how I'm going to go about meeting with them if they've been to all these properties, made appointments already. And, so now I'm going to meet with them. How do I move forward with them?
Oh, that's good stuff. So they don't have a buy-in to your process. So right now they're controlling the narrative. So the best thing to do is have a buyer's consultation with them so that you can get them on your program. Because right now you're riding on theirs. They're driving. So in actuality, we're just assuming that they are ready, they're prepared, and they know what they're doing. So I would sit them down for a really in-depth process, and I would explain my process to them and the process of moving here from a different state or a different area. Now everybody, they're just doing what they're operating out of scarcity. They don't know what to do, but they know they need to do something. That's why they made those appointments. They're like, I gotta find a place to stay. I only have a few days, or I only have a few hours, and I need to get this done now. So, this is your opportunity when you meet with them to sit down and ease their fears. But first, you have to ask them, what is their process? What are their concerns? What are the things that you can help them with? And what are their fears? Right? So if they're saying, you know what, Janelle, I have to move next week. And so, I just made these appointments because if you can't find me anything, I had to find something myself. Or me and my husband was just driving around and we saw this area and we really, really liked it. So you also, since you know where they made the appointments, to do some research. Get ahead and help them understand what's important and what's the good features in that area so they will take you with them to their appointment and put your name on the paper.
Okay. So even if they've already made the appointment with the property manager, because they're just going to lease, they're looking to lease for 6 months and then move on to the buying process. Um, I had them send me a list of where they're going to be. They're going to start looking at 12 and 12 to 5, and most of the places are within 5 minutes of each other, so it won't take them that long from 12 to 5. So um, I'm just wondering, like I asked them, are you ready to sign a lease today? How soon are you moving? Oh, it's open. He got the approval to move anytime he wants to. So that's why he made this trip and doing a whirlwind of looking at apartments. So
So
I think
what is your so they don't have buy-in to you, right? They're operating like, I need to move and I need to do this. So what is your rebuttal, or what is your objection handler to help them understand that maybe it's a good time to buy versus rent? Like, how much about their situation do you know?
not much, because whenever I speak to them personally, I never spoke to the wife. They're newlyweds and he's at work, and he just gives me short blurps. I've emailed him till finally on Sunday I texted him and said, hey, are you guys coming on Tuesday? Are you still coming? And he said, oh yes, I'm sorry I haven't been responsive, he's just been so busy, yada yada yada. And I came out and asked him, I said, are you working with another realtor? And he said, oh no, we're not. I said, okay. So I said, I will meet you when you get here. And I said, we'll touch base when you land. Give me a call. And I'm going to meet you at your hotel.
he's
So,
not in control. You need to get to the wife. The wife is in control. You need to find out and communicate with her. She's the leader. He's not.
oh, oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'll get to meet her for the first time. He did say I have to talk to my wife. And then he says, and when they move here, her objective is to become a Airbnb. She wants to buy properties as an investor. So that's another opening for not only them moving someplace, but down the road. So he's throwing a lot of
So
hooks in the water. Hmm.
so he just threw you a nugget. He pretty much told you what he wants. So now you need to play on that. In order to get to the wife, you need to play on Airbnb. Educate her on it. Even if you're reading it, let her know what you know so they can see the value in you. You have to show value to the wife. She want Airbnb, give it to her. Send them text messages. Send them quotes. Let them know what's going on with Airbnb.
Okay, but as far as today, I'm going to show my value. I'm going to sit down and have a buyer presentation with them, even though they're looking to lease, but I'm going to show them my value as being their realtor and how it'd be more advantageous to them to buy instead of lease when they move.
You're going to do both. You're going to show them your value as a buyer's agent and the value of buying, but you're also going to show them the value of your process. So if we do lease because you feel that that's a better thing for you, here's our plan to get you from leasing for just 6 months into a home and enjoying this area. Here's the things about Houston that you may need to know. Here's anything about the interest rates and the mortgage world that you need to know. You need to know that if you definitely need to start this process as soon as possible because money is going to cost more in the future. And so we have I don't know if Naisha is still on here, but you need to get with a mortgage lender who can give you education on how the mortgage process is working so that they need enough information to make a smart decision. So if I tell you that, you know what, you can lease here, that's fine. Let's start this process. But know that 6 months from now, right now, the average person is getting an interest rate of 5 to 6%. If you get a down payment assistance program, it's going to add another 1%. So there's literally people in the high 600s getting 7% interest rates, which means your buying power is going to be less and your interest rate is going to be higher. So the money's going to cost more if you wait longer than 6 months to start this process. So are you on board with starting the mortgage process today? And we can go ahead and do a lease. And then you have time to learn the area and go forward.
Okay. Okay, great. That sounds good. And then that's leading into more connectivity down the road because then they're going to have a reason to stay in contact with me and go through the process.
That's right.
Correct?
Yes, because you're transferring the power. Right now, they have the power. You're going to do a transfer of our power, allowing them to buy into your process. They always need you.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
No problem. I hope that helped.
Yes,
Um,
very much. Thank you.
you're welcome. So, Kamisha, let's go.
So I have a new client this morning that was referred to me by a client that moved in 2017. She's a relocation client, and she fell in love with my client's home. Her, she wants to take control of control of the transaction. So I'm trying to figure out how to pull her back in. I think it's because of her culture. She's from Jamaica, Queens. And so she says, just send me houses and I'm going to come. I'm going to buy. And I'm asking her to have she got pre-approved. And she says her friend just told her how nice I am. Just send her houses. Um, so I said, ma'am, well, I need to find out your buying power. Well, they can be out as much as $30 million. The last time I checked, I looked at a property that was $30 million. And she said, no, not million. Maybe what's the average? So I told her the average price is about 380, and she said she wants to look at houses between 380 to 500, and it could be cash. How do I? Because you know me, keep this client without running her off, because I am not going to show her anything without a pre-approval. I thought about I even asked her, could we do a Zoom? And she says, no, just text. Um, she did come highly recommended from my client. My client did call me and tell me she was calling, but I really don't know how serious she is because I have no proof of funds or a pre-approval letter.
Okay, so let's practice that. So your goal is to get her to buy into your process,
Correct.
and your other goal is to figure out her commitment to um, the whole thing, right? She may very well have cash. She may very well be anxious, and we also know that that's her culture, right? We also know that we're going to have clients like this who are not going to go through the traditional process, but I'm still technically having a buyer's consultation with you. I just not having it in the traditional way, right?
Okay.
All right, so you be Miss Queens, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So hey, Kamisha, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. So you what area do you want to live in?
Oh, I don't know. I just know that you are really nice. I hear how nice you are, and I like Tanya's house. I just need a house.
Okay, so what do you like about Tanya's house?
It's big, it's roomy. I like her floors. She has nice high ceilings. I like her. I like the community. And I want a house just like hers.
What do you do?
Oh, I didn't answer that.
You can't get out
You
of
were so
character, girl.
aggressive.
That's why I'm telling you to take control. So don't
Okay.
get out of character.
All
I'm going to
right.
show you
Okay,
how
I'm
to take
sorry.
control.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna make up something. Okay, I'm a nurse.
Okay. So your job is typically, do you work at a hospital or you're a travel nurse? Just go.
Travel nurse.
Okay. So how important is area to you? You got to help me help you.
When somebody call you, it takes a second before you can come back.
Oh, okay. So,
You mean,
Ray,
I'm sorry,
no,
somebody keep calling.
no, I couldn't hear you.
Oh,
Okay. All right. So how important is area to you?
I really don't know the area. I just know I want a nice house like Tanya. Not, and Tanya said you're nice and you will take me see houses.
I will take you to see houses, but let me show you. There's a process to this, whether you know it or not. I need to find you the proper place. There's not a lot of houses out here, so I don't want to just waste your time and mine
Yeah,
by
I
just
get it. I get it. I know that, and Tanya said you're nice. I understand that. But I will start the process as soon as I'm not rushing. I'm not gonna rush. I want to find the right house.
okay. So you got to help me help you find the right house. So tell me, describe it. What's the right house?
I'll see it when I mean, when you send it to me, I'll let you know. I just need to see them because
What's the price? So what's your price range?
anywhere 385 to let's just say a half a million.
Perfect. Now, how are you gonna pay for this?
It could be cash. I just gotta see. I gotta see once I see and find the house. It could be cash.
So if it could be cash, in order for me to be able to do this process for you, because there's so less of inventory in our area, you got to show me the cash. They need to see that you have the cash or you
Yeah, I
have
want to
the
meet you first. When I come down there, we will talk. Tanya told me you will sit with me, and we'll do that when I get there.
when are you gonna get here?
I'll probably come in the next week or two.
Okay,
Send me houses, and I'll book my flight.
so that's not how I operate, but let me tell you, I'm going to take care of you. But the best thing to do, I can't just send you houses because there's not enough inventory to send you houses. And two, there's not enough information that you've given me to be
So,
able
is
to
it not
pick
a good
houses
time
for
for
you.
me to buy?
It absolutely is a good time for you to buy, but it's also a good time for you to pick something too. So you're going to have to pick a ideal property in order for me to be able to help you.
Yeah,
Now,
I hear that.
we can start
Because she
with
kept
Tanya's
cutting me
property.
off just like this
Yeah,
every time I said
exactly.
it.
And I'm gonna keep pushing forward. Now we can start with what Tanya House looks like in Tanya's area, and if that doesn't work, if you don't see anything over there, then we'll go to the next process. But I do need more of maybe 2 weeks. I actually need a time that you're gonna be here because the house that I show you today is gonna be gone. So it doesn't make sense for me to send you houses if you're not gonna be here for 2 weeks. We can start within the week that you're gonna be here because houses are lasting hours, not days.
Yeah, I get it. I just want you to send me houses and then I can come earlier. But just send me some houses. Can you send me some houses today?
I cannot. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So what I can do though, if you can tell me a little bit more about what you're looking for, I can. But at this point, with the information you're giving me, I won't be able to help you.
Okay, that's good stuff. That's not what I said. But I mean, everything you said, I said is not the market. I went over to seller market. I just said, well, this is what I'll do. I'll send you a couple of houses via email. You can look at them, but we won't be able to view them until I get either proof of funds or um
Yeah,
your
no. So
approval letter.
she dangled a carrot. In that culture, likes to dangle a carrot to show you that they have money, so that you will perform by all means necessary. But me, I lead generate, so I don't need. I get to choose my clients. I don't have to pick anything that comes available. So if you can't work my process, I'm going to the motivated and the person who is working my process, because it's a waste of my time to send you anything when you don't know. I don't know.
I don't think it's the carrot that she raised in front of me. It was just her being so aggressive. I was just ready to end the call. And I said, okay, no problem. I'll send you some properties, but know that we're not going to look at them. And I've done that before with someone in from Ghana. And I took him out one weekend and I said, okay, I showed you what was out here. But it was different with that client because I knew the family had money. So and then I told him I wasn't taking him out anymore until he gets a pre-approval, and that worked. So I was thinking, let me just email her these houses. She see what we have, but I'm not gonna take her out. But I like the way you did it. So that's the only reason why I told her I'll just email it to her because she was so aggressive.
And my process and your process, neither one of them are wrong. I'm one of those people who believe, and I run my business like this. You have to stand for something or you'll fall for
Right.
anything, right? And so I'm big on, I don't need to work with you because I do enough work on my own that I'm gonna find the client that's ideal for me. But if you come to me as a referral, I want to respect you. But if you're not gonna respect my process, I know it's not gonna end well. So I'm going to entertain you to my comfortability. So my comfortability is when you can give me something in return, cool. But the agent who is not out lead generating and do not have a pipeline will take that person. And that's what I mean by the carrot. I can buy a $500,000 house, send me houses. I'll be there in 2 weeks. You don't lead generate. You have nobody you working with. That sounds great to you. Me, that do not sound great for me because I am not going to be running around with hope and prayer and then you bossing me around telling me, okay, well, then I'll change my mind here. And then I did all of this work to come out to find out that you don't have the money. You getting it from somebody else. It's a waste of time. It's not going to end well. So I'm not going to buy into the process. So whatever process you have, just make sure you have one and you know when to hold and when to fold. That's the most important I can tell you.
So what would be the problem with her putting them on an auto email? It's not. It only takes 5 minutes, and it's not taking up any more time.
It would be. It wouldn't be. That's what I'm saying. Her process and my process is two different things. It's just that I have one and she has one. So neither one of us are wrong. I personally would not put her on an auto email. I wouldn't even know where to start. Like, just send you a house? No. So I wouldn't even entertain it. But that's me. That's just not mean that I'm
Mm.
right and that you're wrong. I'm just saying, whatever your process is, if you want to send her houses, it's okay. I'm saying you have one so that you don't buy into anything.
Uh, Yeah, and I would start with sending her houses exactly the way that the other person's house looked. So because I work with most people that are foreign, nobody that comes to me has a pre-approval letter. And all of them end up buying, right? And a lot of them come at me the same way that she came at Kamisha because they want to see a house first before they even determine if they want to come over here. So I'm not going to be outside showing them a bunch of houses. I'm not showing them a house at all. Most people know me, right? I'm not going to show them anything until I know for sure what they want to see. But I do send them something because that encourages them. But I also kind of veer the conversation because everyone that comes over here from a different country with me also buys an investment home, right? So when they say that I have cash, I say, well, how about I show you how to pay for the house you live in with an investment home and not have to come out your pocket any mortgages. But in order to do that, you're going to need more cash than what you need. So if I get you pre-approved, you'll be able to buy two at the same time, right? And a lot of times, most of them will go for it, and it allowed me to be able to either see how much cash they have or be able to get them a pre-approval, and they end up buying 2 houses at once, and they bought multiple houses. But a lot of people out of the country want to see something before they step foot in the country to see if they even want to come over here and buy.
That's a process. So that's Ray's process. You have to have a process. Whatever way you're gonna do it, you got to know where you stand before you accept the phone call. And what we are lacking in our business is processes and procedures. We don't have a model. So if that person was to call the average real estate agent, they're going to move and do whatever they tell them to do, and they don't know when to fold. So they find themselves 6 months down the line working with those people and still not closing a house. How much money do you make an hour as a real estate agent? What is your process? What are your goals? How many deals should you be working on? That always a determinant for me when I'm working with people like that, or people period. If I'm meeting my goals, then maybe I'll put them on an auto email. But if I'm not meeting my goals, I'm looking for the motivated and the right now, because that's who's going to feed my goals by all means necessary. But what I do like about both of you guys is that you have a process. Now, how many of us on here really have a process? How many of us would just work with them no matter what, however they come across us? Or do we have a client that we are targeting and we have a process? Because that's huge. That makes a world of difference. Okay, so any questions? We have 7 minutes. Does anyone else want to script and role play? Have any questions? Need some help before we get off the call?
Janelle, before we get off, we have a lot of great people here. I want to send out an invite. So to our guests and the people who are agents, brokers here at CR Elite Realty, this is what we receive every day from classes, tutorship, growth, leadership with our COO, Rayvon, and Janelle. This is what we receive every day. So if you're an agent or a broker and you're looking to grow and go to the next level, we receive a fresh manna today, fresh word from great leadership. So if you're looking for a brokerage, Shannon will put the information below in the text to be a part of what we have. Come to the training, come to the seminars, and grow with us and see what we have to offer. So this is an invitation to grow with us as a brokerage and to come and learn. So if you're looking to grow and learn with CR Elite Realty, you have an opportunity. Shannon will put the information below. I wanted to open that invitation.
Thank you, Andre. Now,
Yeah.
the purpose of this app, guys, is to help real estate agents worldwide to meet them where they are, to be able to practice these conversations, because you should not be practicing these conversations on your client. We practice on the practice field and we play on the playing field. So on Tuesday, we do scripting and role playing. Every's going to be a different topic. Bring your questions, bring your concerns, but most importantly, this is a place of no judgment. So if you do not know how, this is the best place to ask so that you can get an opinion. There's a lot of people on here doing a lot of great things and who are mega agents doing business and been in business for a while. So we're all bringing our opinion, we're all bringing our expertise, and this is where we're going to learn. Now, on Thursdays, we have a conversation. It's a boss up conversation. It's about changing the way you look at things, taking logic and making sense, because we know that logic makes sense, but emotion makes you act. So if you have any questions, always email me. You can email me at Janelle at creliterealty.com. You can text me at 817-703-9305. You can also schedule an appointment to for coaching or anything else that you would like or have a question. I'm an open book and I love to help people. Today, if you are already part of our office, we have systems training. If you're a new agent and you're going through orientation, this is systems week. Tomorrow is contracts week, guys. Contracts day. Now, next month, you will be able to receive CE for the contract class. This month, I want you to come to contract. There's a lot of changes that happen. So I need to see every last one of you guys in class. We have to learn and earn at the same time. I think that's it. If we don't have anything else, then you guys, Oh, Shannon said she's going to email out the link. If you guys don't have any other questions, we're going to end today and we'll be back on here tomorrow. Everybody good? All right. I'm going to leave the chat here for a few more minutes so that you guys can get the information that Shannon put in there. I hope you guys have a great day. Be productive. Let's make some money.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.